Hello, my name is Kurt Halverson. I'm the Community Education Coordinator for HomeTown Credit Union, and today we're going to be discussing creating a budget. Why create a budget? A budget is really a way to help you understand what you have for money coming in, what you have for money going out, and what your goals are for those things. Sometimes we tend to spend what we earn, if you've ever heard that saying. Sometimes people tend to spend a little bit more than they earn by using credit cards and dipping into savings. By identifying things on a budget, you'll be able to see clearly where you sit. So you'll be able to say, okay, this is what I've got for money coming in each month. This is what I have for expenses. Am I happy with the way things look, or do I want to make adjustments? So, like eating a Reese's peanut butter cup, there's no wrong way to do a budget. There are lots of different ways. I've got a spreadsheet that I prefer to use, and you might have a different spreadsheet that works good for you. Some people like to do things in Excel and save them on their computer. Some people like to use apps like Mint. Some people like to use paper and pencil to keep their budgets. It's whatever works for you. Today, I'm going to talk about using this spreadsheet, and no matter what method you choose, the concepts are essentially the same. Let's get started. The first step is to pull together your information for your income. So what you're going to do is you're going to say, what kinds of things do I have for money coming in each month? Typically, that's going to look like wages. In this budget, there's also a spot for spouse's wages. You could earn dividends or interest. You might receive some gifts. You might have refunds or reimbursements coming in. You might have money transferred in from savings, and you might have other sources of income. On this spreadsheet, you can fill in the information. Don't worry about the budget section at the moment. We'll come back to that later. Next, round up your bills so you can get a clear picture of what your expenses are. This is an example looking at our home expenses. So we have our mortgage or rent payment, we have home or rental insurance, electricity, gas or oil, water, sewer, trash, cell phone, cable, internet, furnishings, lawn and garden, maintenance supplies, improvements, and other. Now, for some of these bills, you're going to have the same amount every month. Other ones might be flexible, like for gas or oil. You might spend more in the winter to heat your home than you do in the summer. Some expenses that you'll look at, such as groceries, might fluctuate, or fuel that you put in your car based off of gas prices. So for instances like that, what you may wish to do is pull together your checking account statement if you work off of a debit card, and you can go through transaction by transaction to identify what that expense is related to, and then you can categorize it. Sometimes people prefer to work off of cash. In that instance, you might keep a spending journal where you write what you spend each month. That can be very eye-opening because sometimes you might think, I don't really spend that much every day, but when you start tracking it, you might be amazed at what you actually do spend. So here we've got some examples filled in. We've got a sample for wages and tips for a person. We'll call him Bobby Budgeter. Over here, we've got Bobby's expenses. We can see that he has a mortgage or rent payment of $800, electricity, a gas bill, water and sewer, and cell phone. Now, the nice thing about this spreadsheet is it does the math for us. It adds up what all of his expenses are, it adds up his income, and it categorizes it in the upper right-hand corner. You'll see that under actual, it shows what his income is, what his expenses are, and then it shows what's left over after that. And I really love that about this spreadsheet. Now, how is your financial plan looking? When you finish your budget, are you happy with the way things look? Are you spending more than you expected, or are you spending less? If you're not spending the full amount of your income, what are you doing with those actual funds? A lot of people recommend that your budget should actually come out to a zero net every time. And the reason for that is they say that money that's not being spent should be saved. In fact, you might choose to put your savings first and say, okay, every time I get paid, I'm going to put this amount into savings. So that way That's included in every month's budget. It's done up front. You can even automate it with automatic transfers, so it's out of sight, out of mind, and it happens. Now, when you've discovered things that you might say, oh gosh, I can't believe I spent this amount on snacks each month, you might say, okay, I'm going to set a goal to do better in that category. That's where the budget column comes into play. Over here, we see that Bobby the budgeter is budgeting for more income. Perhaps he's looking at picking up some overtime. So he's got his goal set here. This is what he actually made. And again, the spreadsheet does the math for us and shows what the difference is. Over here, he might have a plan for what he hopes to spend on electricity. Maybe he's going to do a better job of shutting off lights when he leaves the room, trying to keep the thermostat turned down at night when he goes to bed to save some money on gas costs, things like that. And so here it shows us again what his plan is. Budget is another word for plan, what he actually spent, and what the difference is. So here we've got our summary. Again, it floods in the information for the budget just like it does actual. And you'll see here that net zero difference because he's accounting for every penny of his income. So budgeting can be a great way to take control of your finances, plan for the future, and reduce money-related stress. George Washington famously said, we must consult our means rather than our wishes, which sometimes can be difficult to do, but if you're willing to put in the work, it pays off a ton for you. And feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or need help. I'm always happy to help people put together a budget, and that's something I can do even right over the computer and over the phone for you. You can reach me at 507-455-6726 or by emailing me at khalverson@hometowncu.coop. Thank you very much for joining me today. I greatly appreciate it, and I know that you've got this. Thank you.